Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up gay culture. Gay actor Ian McKellen urges queer celebrities to come out, sparking mixed reactions. Legendary actor Ian McKellen is encouraging famous queer people to come out of the closet, and not everyone is thrilled with the suggestion. In a recent interview with The Times, McKellen shared his thoughts about Christopher Marlowe's Edward II, a play that explores a relationship between King Edward II and Piers Gaveston. McKellen himself played Gaveston in 1969, years before publicly coming out as gay. The discussion turned to the impact of coming out for celebrities. He recalled how Sir Alec Guinness once compared his decision to come out to, quote, getting involved in politics, end quote, while another actor, Simon Callow, saw no point in staying in the closet at all. During the discussion, McKellen, now 85, said, quote, I feel sorry for any famous person who feels that they can't come out. Being in the closet is silly. There's no need for it, end quote. The quote quickly went viral, but some responses were less than supportive. Some emphasized that coming out is not that easy, whether famous or not, and that everyone should do so when they're ready. While McKellen acknowledged the ongoing struggles faced by queer individuals, he also highlighted the personal and professional benefits of coming out. He said, quote, I have never met anyone who came out who regretted it. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gay friends who know better. Come out into the sunshine, end quote. Well, I applaud Ian. What a wonderful outlook. I think right now, as we've said in this story tonight, the stories tonight and in the past on this show, we need to just celebrate who we are and, encourage people who maybe are hesitant to come out and be who they are, no matter how they identify, and be their authentic self. I look back and I was looking through a list, and there's so many people who've come out and been role models for our whole alphabet in the LGBTQ plus community. I know when I was a kid, Elton John was one for me, and I know he had a little bit of a rocky, relationships with women, and then he finally came out. But I always knew he was gay, but that was a positive for me. You look at Jodie Foster, Anderson Cooper, Wanda Sykes, George Takei, Elliot Page, Billie Eilish, Matt Boomer, and so many more. So, I think we need to encourage people to be comfortable to come out. In spite of what we hear in these stories about Trump, shying, our community away from even thinking about the military. It's a shame that, people who've served cannot. But I think we need to show where we can showcase our talents elsewhere. And it's going to be our strength, whether it's in technology, whether it's in politics. We need to be out in force and certainly boycott places that do not support us. Then they don't get our money.
People who are, as we say, like our movie stars and things like that. Yes, it may be easier for them because of the position they're in. Yeah. But Edward, both of us know individuals that's a totally different story, and they do regret coming out, especially as youth, because they've had to deal with homelessness. They've had their entire families turn their back on them. It was not the time for them to come out. And I think we have to be protective. If that's their journey, it should not be somebody telling them you need to come out.
Yeah. Though I'll say one thing I appreciate with Ian's words is he specifically discussed famous people. Because I was hearing the thing there was controversy online. I'm like, well, first off, kids online, how much, do you have something better to do? Like, no, like famous people coming out, like even if they do less in their career, oh, so sorry, you're only worth millions instead of tens of millions. It's very different than like those kids. And I appreciate him encouraging famous people to come out. Like it has been a big problem in the past, especially, you mentioned, I love Anderson Cooper. He was in the biggest glass closet for how many friggin' decades, and I think it's good for more of them to come out.
Yeah, I think it's great for people to come out, especially famous people, because the role model factor is huge. Right. I mean, us representing on TV, in movies, in music, those are things that the public consumes, and it gives them more exposure to LGBTQ people. Studies have shown that exposure to LGBTQ people, whether through cultural and personal interaction, tend to wear down whoever person's homophobia is, unless you. But on the other hand, we got Caitlyn Jenner, who is not a role model for anything. And
well, it takes away the mystery. To your point, once you get to know someone, I mean, I've heard people say, how can you say, everyone knows someone who's gay or someone who may be gay? We're all out there.
Yeah, I think I'm all about this, but I have to agree with Vaughn. I think everybody has their own journey, even celebrities, even famous people. And we have to remember, we have young people who are famous, right? And I think that, it's when you're ready. And it should be when you're ready, right? Because we all have different cultures. We all are raised different. We all have different pressures on us. And I do think it's great to have celebrities out there, but we all have different life experiences, and we have to respect that and honor that. And allow people to do it within their due time. Because I do want to say this, is that suicide is a big thing. We have a huge issue with people committing suicide because they're struggling with who they are. And so we don't want people to do that because they're feeling this pressure to come out because they're famous.
Well, I think the other thing too is that sometimes some celebrities might want to come out, but their management team just pressure them not to, because, for example, if it's in the case of Rock Hudson, doing that would lose his matinee idol appeal, or whoever, or when Elton John when he was younger, because they want female fans or whatever. I think we are grown. I think generally fandom has grown past that. That people are like, oh, I'll ditch you if you are gay. Right. But on the other hand, there's this old school fear lurking around in Hollywood and in especially more conservative genres like country music.
And everyone's coming out story is unique and different. I remember I came out once, and no
really?
one, and everyone was like, we already knew.
Yeah.
I have too much stuff in the closet. I just came out of it.
Right. I think that the other big thing is that some people could be very private and just want a private life. They could be out in their circle, but just not out publicly. Right. Some people may not want the celebrity that comes with being out and being this sort of role model for people, or this toy that people are using all over social media.
I think that's Ricky Martin.
When people sensationalize people, right? So again, it goes back to we all have our different journeys. We know who they are, but we just have to let them come out during when they're ready. So that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world.